Well, while we've got things set up, I think we're going to do a couple of other sketchbook reviews here. I've always got a ton of sketchbooks to go through, so again, these are kind of smaller sketchbooks. Either had to rip stuff out to use, to send off to clients. And so I'm going to go through a couple of these right here, and let's get going. So initially this one, we've got a Canson paper pad. It's 9 by 12, 90-pound paper. And so let's see what we got going in here. So I know that I was looking at this particular thing is for, it was some sort of contest that I'd thought about entering. I can't remember. It had something to do with heaven and hell, but steampunk. And so my initial design, even though not the composition's kind of poor here, is that I'd had an angel sitting up here on a toilet on a commode, and I was going to have the plumbing going all the way down to hell. And you've got Satan here with his little demons coming out of pipes and so forth, and kind of just living a disgruntled life. And then this was kind of the tree of life, or the tree in the garden where Adam and Eve were, but it was a steampunk tree. Still like the design. I actually had thrown some stuff on the computer, some AI art, just to see what it would look like. It's amazing how close it came to what I got here. Mine's still better. Make sure that we know that. Okay. But fun stuff. So some other quick compositions. Galactus. Really messed up anatomy on this, but there's something about this I like, because I'm kind of a fan of the Kevin O'Neill, Simon Bisley kind of flattened out anatomy, a lot of that type of stuff. It's just as I get older, it's just funner to kind of express yourself in interpreting anatomy in a strange way, but that's kind of fun for me. Some other characters real quick. This was done with my Pilot pen. I believe it was just one of the other pens that we're talking about, emoji pen. This was from, I was doing a series of strongmen, so this was actually taken in, I'm trying to think here, 2000, I believe it was 2009 at the World Strongman competition in Malta. And for the life of me, I can't remember this guy's name. He's from the United States, though. And this is Sir Dreading. I believe he's a Russian powerlifter long before I was born, but you look up his YouTube, the dude like military pressed 500 pounds or strict pressed it. It was pretty amazing. Worthy of a drawing. This is him as well. Anybody who's into strongman or has ever watched those on ESPN will probably know in the old days, the Bill Kazmaier, who won it 3 times. These guys almost look like twins, how their faces look and their bodies are built, but they're just absolutely huge. I exaggerated just a titch on this. This is about how big this guy really is, and so proportionally. This is blue color erase pencil, and this is scarlet red color erase pencil. I don't recall who this was, but I initially wanted to, characterize and make him a little bit bigger, but I stuck with this one right here. So. Some other characters. This was, I just put all black down and just got a white out marker, and I thought I would try that with a little bit of brush and pen, so forth. This was kind of fun to do. Here I was just exaggerating the traps, really pulling the head up. It's always just fun to modify anatomy and see how it's going to look. Here we have Mariusz Pudzianowski, Polish lifter, 5 times world's strongest man. And so this is one of the photos I'd taken, and obviously it is caricaturized. 2 versions of his face. This is what he looks like. A friend of mine. She's pretty short, pretty small, and we just turned her into a little elf. Just other ones. I think I did those in my previous sketchbook review of some markers. It was the same ex-girlfriend, but she was always good for posing for photos. One of my rare graphite drawings, and so in these type of drawings, if I have a bigger pencil, I kind of did this one with a kind of a dot to dot, where you take really light lines and you figure out where things are going to go. So if you want to fill here, I'll actually do it on here. It's like if this was his vein and I wanted to kind of fill the contour of that, I'm kind of going to make points where I can kind of connect things. And this was actually a technique I used when I was in school, and it really pushed my drawing style forward because I started using landmarks as a result of this. I was just using this little dot to dot technique that I had kind of, I don't know where I got it, but I started just kind of paying attention to the surface areas of certain things, making contour lines, and it just had some really, I wished I had the old drawings from school. I had done a bunch of World Cup drawings that were just much different from this, but with a much larger, this is a mechanical pencil, and I'd used a much larger lead so you could see those very pronounced dot to dot lines and points. Still a style I think is pretty cool to this day. And let me add something here, is when you do these, the nice thing is you can always add little gradations in these little shapes, like almost like you're doing stained glass window, but you can change the values it goes out. So I would, maybe if you haven't done it, I would experiment doing a figure with that. Here's some, I believe this is carmine red, color erase, some more gesture drawings for figures. Again, some additional ones. This is all, make sure this is all getting on there. And this sketchbook is very brief. So this is actually ballpoint pen. I was doing Little Wizard. Actually hate it, but I do like some of the stuff that's going in there. So let's jump with this one and go to the next sketchbook. So here we have another one. This is again, this is a 9x12 sketchbook, 70 pound, much like the previous video I created, except it was a 11x14. So let's see what we got in here. So I know I had some of these papers sitting around, so I just taped them in here. This is a drawing I'd done on some type paper for a character in a PlayStation game. This was another one. Maybe somebody knows who this group is. I think it's a musical group. I think it's a Korean musical group. I want to say it was One, but I don't recall. So that's just one I'll probably eventually tape in there. And I'm trying to remember, I think this model's name is Katie, K-E-I-T-Y. I just remember, just had a very nice face for everything, nice everything actually, but just kind of some fun with doing some borders and different things. It was just a sketch. Some other color erase pencil sketches. This is back to the carmine red color erase. Again, this is Bianca Beauchamp. I use her. I've got a stack of these photos from like 15, 20 years ago, and I still use them. They're great, and so I just kind of stylize this one. Very fun model to work from. These in particular, I like because if you can see the line work, like I was outlining shapes like for the eyebrows, for the hair, and then filling them with just a line work halftone, which I really like. I actually may go back and do some of this stuff because I really enjoy doing that. And that's the beauty of these sketchbooks, is that you go back and you're like, oh, I had this idea, or I tried this style, and then life takes over and you get away from it. So these are just some of my logo designs. I have another website. It's called Jaw Rocker. It's not active now. This is Sir Sketch-A-Lot. These are some more Scott Robertson studies I was doing in this sketchbook. Some other quick marker sketches. So yeah, let's just keep it. This is that same model, Katie, if I'm saying that right. Just a botched piece I came up with. Some elf girl floating in the clouds, who knows. This is carmine red as well, I believe, color erase. And then this here, I was doing some sketches from a book. I was reading James Silks. He's the author. He did 4 books that were The Death Dealer, based off Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer. And I've done several of these sketches through several sketchbooks, so you may have seen this in another sketchbook review, but this was actually one of the characters in there. He was an evil character. He could actually turn into a great white shark, kind of half man, half shark, and these are kind of some young girls in here, and he'd jump in, turn the shark, kill him, blah, blah, blah. It was an awesome, awesome story. If you like Frank Frazetta and you like Conan type of stuff, this was fun. And I keep these specific reference, and I'll do design in here because when I go to the gym, I'm always looking at how, like, when people get on, whether they're male or female, they get on like an elliptical or or a treadmill, and I see them from different angles, and I want to see how that elbow and shoulder function when they're swinging back and forth. And you'd be amazed some of the epiphanies you can have from designing and creating an anatomy that'll kind of show through if you just take the time to observe. So this, I started working on a game. It was called Snoopy Flying Ace. So just some thumbnails for a possible cover design. The game had some PT boats. Of course, they got to be kind of characterized. So this is the initial design on those. Some gun turrets. I won't spend much time here. Again, really quick initial sketches for some of these guns that would fit on the airplane. The airplane was a biplane that would sit in this position, so you had to be able to mount them on here. And I've got a huge stack of conceptual drawings that I may end up going through and doing a whole review just off of that for those people that are interested. So if you are interested in seeing Snoopy video game concepts or something like that, please let me know in the comments. This is kind of a abandoned drawing. Dragon with a sword through it. Some more Snoopy concepts. Let me skip through these. Just a scene, one of the paths that the biplane had to fly on through these. And so this is, again, sketchbooks aren't always glamorous. You know, if you're one of those people that feels the need that you cannot do a sketch in your sketchbook unless it's polished and it looks great, and you know, I think you're kind of missing the point. Sometimes we do those just for ourselves or whatever the case may be, but sometimes it can be difficult to get in the habit of keeping all your sketches and not having that sketch torn out. But a lot of times I will go back and I look at those, what I would call bad sketches, and I can learn something from them. What media that I did I enjoy using it or not to use it again. Okay, this was actually a gun turret for that same Snoopy game that hung off the bottom of a cliff. So that's what that is. Back to a little bit more figure drawings. Blue color erase. I think this is Bianca Beauchamp as well. Jeez, I didn't realize there was this many Snoopy concepts in here. Another Bianca Beauchamp. This is more of like a deep red alizarin color erase. Almost looks like Jessica Alba in that one, but I know it's not. This is one for Bianca Beauchamp, and she has these kind of boots that look like horse feet. This was just fun to do. This, again, this is blue color erase. And I think lastly here we have, I was doing if I remember correctly, I was doing something with a kind of a devil's advocate where you kind of have this main central devil figure and he's got a couple of his skanky girls hanging around him. And these are done with just a black Prismacolor pencil, and this was a ball. I absolutely love this stuff. Again, I really have fun doing this stuff. I think this is where artists learn the most, is doing this type of drawing, gestural drawings. Bianca Beauchamp again, and these were a ball. And you can see getting this perforated paper in these sketchbooks is not a good idea and not something that I think I will do again. But there it is. Those are a couple other sketchbooks. Any comments, questions, put them in there. I appreciate you joining me. And again, I'd love to hear your feedback on anything that I have here. If you like it, if you think it sucks, just let me know. And I would very much appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks.